Well, today we are in Edgeley in Stockport, and we're going to meet a very special person, a very special survivor. Now, this gentleman, he's called Greg, and he contracted the Mexican virus, which is COVID-19, and he was in intensive care. Go down this tunnel. He was in intensive care for around 8 weeks. So we're going to meet him, and he's agreed to have a chat to us, to share his experience, to share his story of his survival. Now, I believe that he did actually die in the hospital with COVID-19, but they brought him back. So, well, there's somewhere. Let's have a look. Okay. What I'll have to do is give him a bell. I haven't got a clue where I am, to be honest with you. I know he's somewhere around here.
Hello.
Morning, Greg. You okay, buddy?
I'm alright, how are you?
I'm a bit lost. I don't know where actually your place is.
You look right in front of you now.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Look up at the top window.
Right. Still can't see you. 1 minute. Let's have a look. Top window.
Look at the window.
Ah, there you are.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, not too bad. I don't think my camera can pick you up, but I'll see you in a minute. Get that kettle on.
Press 31.
Oh.
Keep that.
Alright, no problem. Right, 31.
Alright, mate.
Okay, see you in a minute. Electric door. Okay, 31.
The door is now opened.
Oh, thanks very much.
The door is now opened.
Look on its own, mate.
Alright,
The
okay.
door is now opened.
Big sign there. Please do not push
Look
the
at it.
door. I only pushed it, but it doesn't.
It's now opened.
It's a good start.
Oh, you bust it, Steve. Let it shut, mate.
Right,
Press it again.
okay. Right, now, second attempt now. 31, answer. This time, don't touch it.
The
Right.
door is now opened.
Okay.
There you go, buddy.
Cheers, see you in a minute. Right, 31, 31. 31. Where's the upstairs? Okay.
Hey, mate.
You alright, Greg?
How are you?
I think I busted your door.
You're not the first one to grab hold of it, mate.
Well, it's got a big sign what says, do not push. And what did I do? I pushed.
You got a brew?
Yes, please.
Tea, coffee?
Coffee, please.
Yeah. This one is, that's just a telephone consultation, that.
What's this? Because of you had that COVID-19,
Yeah.
that
COVID.
Mexican beer virus, as I call it. They don't like mentioning that word.
Lung function unit appointment. And another telephone consultation, that's for my knee.
Right, okay.
I've got to go and have another x-ray.
And that's all because of the Mexican beer virus?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some mornings, it's different for me.
Yeah,
My shoulders ache like mad, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like yesterday, they were fine. But some mornings I wake up and you get really out of breath dead quick.
Yeah.
I walk to the shops and
Yeah.
then sit down. You know what I mean? Because I was just so out of breath. And
Yeah.
then other days I'm fine, you know what I mean? I can go to the gym and I can go
Yeah.
do an hour and a half workout, like. And you know, some days I can't.
All because of this virus, what you call
Yeah.
it.
Well, because of COVID. Long COVID, they call it.
I just couldn't believe how fit you was. Do you know, this is before you even
Yeah.
contract. You used to go walking up these stairs and everywhere. You lost that much weight.
Yeah. Like 5.5 miles a day, that one was. I was just looking on my phone this morning.
Yeah.
And this time last year, we went to Blackpool for the day walking.
Oh, did? What, was I there?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And I was,
It was a year ago today.
yeah, and I was looking for the local hotties.
Yeah, that's right. You were dragging us in bars saying, come and have a look at this bar.
Well, hi there, people. We are with a famous survivor of the dreaded Mexican virus of Covid-19. Now, this is Greg, okay? Now, first of all, Greg, the most important thing, how did you catch this Mexican virus, as I call it?
I believed at the time I caught it off one of my managers at work,
Right.
but having spoke to him since, he said he didn't have it at the time. So therefore, I must have got it on the bus airside.
Okay.
Because obviously we were, when you're airside and you drop people off at the terminal, you then have to check your bus over for security reasons. Obviously you've gone in and touched the poles and things like that, you know,
Yeah.
where other people have been coming from other countries. And so that's where I believe I got it from.
So, how did you know something was wrong?
It was on the Boxing Day, I think that was my last day at work. And then I came home and I was furloughed at the time. And it was about the 1st to the 2nd of January where I started to feel a bit fluey.
Right.
And I just thought, natural, you know, it's a flu thing, like, because day after I was aching a bit, and then the day after that I'm starting to sweat, but I'm cold and shivering, you know what I mean? So I thought, I've got flu here.
Yeah.
So I went and got in bed, and it wasn't going, so I thought I need to go and get a test. So I rang the test centre up and they told me to go down, don't get out of your car and all that. So I went down, got a test, came back the day after, it was positive.
How did you feel when it was positive?
To be honest, I'd seen a lot of people who like have had COVID and didn't believe in COVID and all that. And so I did believe in it because obviously there was a lot of people going in hospital.
Yeah.
So I just thought, well, you know, I'll fight this out myself. Because a lot of people say, no, it's like flu. And you listen to them, and really you shouldn't,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I'm in bed and sweating and my bed's soaking wet, and I'm asking people like online, you know, I needed a water bottle at the time. And obviously I couldn't go out. And anyway, one of my followers on my raffles page, she got in touch with me and said, I've got a water bottle, I'll come down, I'll leave it outside your front door, which she did, which was really good. So obviously I've got this hot water in bed, well, I'm sweating but I'm shivering.
Yeah.
And I'm getting worse. So I rang 111. They then said to me, you need to answer these questions. So I answered the questions and he said, yeah, you need an ambulance. 3 hours for an ambulance.
3 hours for an ambulance?
3 hours. So in this time, the ambulance guy rang me and he was asking me then questions, how I was and all this. And he said, well, I don't really think you need an ambulance. So I said, well, you know more than me, mate. I said,
Yeah.
you know. So I went with it, back to bed, again, shivering, shaking. So then the next day, I was even worse.
In what way?
I could hardly walk, you know what I mean? And breathing was getting difficult. So I rang again, had to answer the same questions again. Yeah, you need an ambulance. 4 hours this time. Anyway,
4 hours for an ambulance?
4 hours. And this guy rang me up, ambulance guy again. I said, look, I had all this yesterday. And he said I didn't need one. And he asked me these questions and he said, you do need one. But he said, it's going to be 4 hours. So he said, but there is a place you can ring in Hazel Grove, which is up near the hospital, not far away, which is like a doctor's. He said, where you can walk in, but you have to, you know, make an appointment. He said, what'll happen, I'll give you the phone number, ring him up, make an appointment. So I did, rang him up and he said, right, told me where it was, the postcode and everything. And as you go through the car park, there's a tent.
Yeah.
And it fits 2 cars in it. So if there's a car already in it, sit in your car and wait, but make sure you park under the tent.
Which on your own?
Yeah. Well, I had to be, because of the
Yeah.
way it was. So I parked in it, and there was a car there, and I'm sat in the car shivering, really, really cold now, because I'm out in the fresh air and that, you know. So I'm feeling the cold a bit more, even though I was still sweating. Anyway, this guy came out and he got in the car. A couple of minutes later, a young girl comes out and waves me.
A young girl, hottie? Go on, carry on.
Like a receptionist.
Alright.
And she waves me in, so I gets out of my car, and I'm absolutely shaking.
Yeah.
And as we walked in this building, she said to me, "It's top, go up the corridor, last door on the left." So as I walked up the corridor, and she's like behind me, and I walked in, there was this nurse, doctor there. She was about 30 or something like that. And as soon as she looked at me, her eyes just opened, and she said to this reception, "Order an ambulance." So obviously I must have looked bad.
Yeah.
She put the oxygen levels on my finger, and I was down to 60 something, where you should be around between 96 and 98.
Yeah.
So she come back and said it'd be half an hour. So she said it won't. She said, "Let me speak to him." 5 minutes later, I had an ambulance there. Guys come in, and he looked at me and he said, "How have you got here?" I said, "I've driven." He said, "You've driven?" So I said, "Yeah." I said, "How else am I going to get here? No one's going to bring me.
Yeah.
You know, I've got COVID." So anyway, they got me in the ambulance. He said, "I'm going to have to blue light it." And it's only 2 minutes away.
Yeah.
And they did, blue lighted me straight into the COVID bit of A&E. And within 30 seconds, they were taking bloods out of me and everything. Within half an hour, I was on a ward. Come out of the ward. In the ward the next day, this doctor come down to see me, and he said, "You're struggling with your oxygen levels."
Yeah.
He said, "If it doesn't rise, then we're going to have to take you up to ICU." So I'm thinking, please, I don't want to go to ICU. And in the afternoon, "Sorry, Greg, you've got to come upstairs."
She's scared?
Yeah, very scared.
Yeah.
Because you hear that many people going in ICU and not coming out. So I gets into ICU, and there's 7 other people in there, and they're all on ventilators in a coma. There's only me awake, which was very, very scary. And
so you were sat in a bed looking at all these 7 people who was, let's just say, comatised. And there's you on your own thinking, "Oh, this is me."
Yeah. And I did say to this doctor, and I just said, "I want you to be a 100% with me." I said, "What's my chances of coming through it if I end up like these?" And he said, "You want me to be honest?" So I said, "Yeah, I do." And he said, "You will end up like these, 100%. And he said, "Your chances of getting through now is 80%. This time last year, it was 20%.
Yeah.
Because they knew a lot more about it. You've got an 80% chance," he says, "of coming through it." So what they did, they tried this mask on me. Just a little mask, the normal breathing one, that was no good. So then they give me these tubes, massive tube going around your face, and it's blowing warm air into your nose, which is oxygen. That wasn't good enough, so then they put a small mask on me, but a suction one stuck to your face.
That's not nice.
No, you're right,
Exactly,
it isn't.
Yeah.
That didn't work, so then they put on what's called a pilot's mask. I think it's called a C-cap.
Okay.
And it goes right around your face, and it sticks to your face.
It's like you're going in the sea, scuba diving.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more like these fighter pilots.
Yeah.
Like they have like a thing on their face. But it's just so hot inside, you're sweating, and I've got pools of sweat underneath here, and I've got my hands underneath the suction just to let some cool air in.
Yeah.
But then that's setting the alarm off, saying it's leaking,
Yeah.
and then they put me out.
What was it like when they put you out, if you could describe it?
You don't really know they're putting me out, because they didn't tell me they were putting me out. They told my sister and my brother
Yeah.
that, they were going to put me under, but they didn't tell me.
How long was you out for?
Well, I was in ICU for 44 days.
44 days?
44 days, yeah. And they made, because I was in 2 hospitals, I was in Stepping Hill first, and in Stepping Hill they kept a diary.
Yeah.
So that when you go to ICU, you're one-on-one, and the nurse works 12 hours, so she made a note of what she'd done in them 12 hours for me, and again at night time.
Yeah.
So they kept a diary, but then they moved me from Stepping Hill to Wythenshawe, because they were running out of beds at Stepping Hill, and they could only move the strongest, which was me and another fella, and they moved us to Wythenshawe. But after reading the diaries, after 5 days, they try and wake you up.
Yeah.
But obviously you're very agitated, I've got like tubes in my mouth, up my nose and all this like, and I remember them waking me up, and it was like, the only way I could describe it, it's like being in a big bowl.
Right.
It's like a massive bowl, and I'm at the bottom of this bowl, and I can see out, and I can see figures. Can't see faces, I can just see figures. And I remember this nurse saying, it's nurse such and such a body, you're in stepping ill, you're very, very poorly, you've got COVID. And then she put me 2 fingers in her hand, like she said, squeeze me fingers if you can hear me. So I was squeezing my fingers, not knowing where I was or anything, like, you know. And then I remember it happened again, and I didn't click at the time, but the next time it happened, it was in Withenshaw. But that didn't register with me at the time. And again, it was like being in that bowl and squeezed my finger, but it was a consultant that time that woke me up. And he said, like, you know, you're in Withenshaw Hospital, you're very, very poorly. If you can hear me, squeeze my fingers, which I did. And really, I don't remember a lot of it. Because of the medication you're on, there's a lot of dreams. Some scary ones, some good ones. But apparently, one of them that's still as clear as day to day, and it puts goosebumps on your arms and that when you hear it. Apparently, he tried to wake me up, and I was agitated, and I pulled all the tubes out. And my heart stopped.
Heart stopped?
Stopped to get the crash to me. I found this out afterwards. And he jump-started me, as I call it, with the defib. And this nurse told me afterwards they'd done 3 and they couldn't get me going. And he said, that's it. I know this consultant behind said, give it one more go. And he did, and my heart started again. But on my side of it, I still don't think it was a dream. I think it's true. I died. I knew I'd died, and I'd gone into. It's very hard to explain. It's like sort of like a picture house, but these chairs were going down, and there was thousands and thousands of them. And these chairs were like aeroplane seats. They got like a screen on the back, and your name was above the screen. And you could watch videos of your life, and you could watch videos of your mum and your dad, your granddads, whatever, for as long as you wanted, like, you know. So people were appearing everywhere next to these seats with the names on, sitting down watching videos.
Didn't know it?
No. I could just see people appearing and then just boom, 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 disappearing. But on mine, my name wasn't above the seat, and I couldn't get into the seat. I'm trying my hardest to get into the seat, sit down and watch this, because I don't know how you know, but you know this, you can watch these videos like. And I remember being stood there looking at the seat, and I felt a tap on my shoulder. And again, couldn't see his face, but I knew it was a fella, could see his figures and everything. And he said to me, these were the exact words, excuse me mate, and he called me mate, you shouldn't be here yet. You need to follow me. And as I turned round to follow him, I just felt this massive jolt. And it stopped. And I believe that was him starting my heart again. You know, and I believe that he spared me to help other people understand about this virus, this nasty disease, or this Mexican one as you call it. And make people understand it is real, because there's a lot of doubters out there.
I was one of them, I must admit, I was.
And you need to walk through ICU to understand it, you know what I mean? All the people who are doubted, not to get the disease, but to see. And there is a video on my Facebook, it's in America, and they've strapped the cameras to the nurses on a 12-hour shift, what they have to go through. And believe me, Steve, you can watch that without being stunned and shocked and saddened, because there's people passing away on it. Video links to the people at home, you know, family, and they're switching the ventilators off and all that. And it's so true to what it is. And all I remember is waking up. I don't fully remember waking up because I had a tracheostomy in here. You still see my scar on the neck. My brother came to see me, they let him in, they thought it would do me good. He was sat with me for an hour, he said, talking to me, and I'm sort of talking to him how I can, because I can't talk properly because this tracheostomy, but I don't remember a thing of it, not one thing.
What's this new tube you've set up about this story?
Yeah, it's just to help people, and it's to read out this diary.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just the nurses that had done this diary, my sister did one. I've got a twin sister.
Yeah.
So obviously it was affecting her in a really bad way, and she was keeping a diary because my brother Ivan, who's my eldest brother, and my twin sister Babs, one of them rang in the morning and one rang at night.
Yeah.
To find out what they'd done to me, in ICU. So I've made this YouTube channel,
which I'll put the link at the bottom of the description,
and it's to help people understand what people like me are going through, because I didn't know until I read the diary what they were doing to me and how I was reacting. Some of it I remember, some of it I don't.
Yeah.
And it's to help them understand. But I'm just doing short videos of each day, so people don't get bored. If they want to jump, they can. And there's one on there where there's pictures of me trying all these different masks on, and when I woke up with my tracheostomy and without the trachea, I've got an hole in my neck, and but it was to help them people who have got people who have just gone into hospital understand what they're going through.
It's a good idea, that, actually.
So that, there's a lot of people saying, I follow this one on YouTube as well, on Facebook, and a lot of people on there saying questions. They've offered my mum the ventilator, should I let her go on it or shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Well, if she don't go on it, she's going to die.
Yeah.
And if she goes on it and dies, then you've not lost nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these are the sort of messages I'm getting out to them.
Okay.
And, people can ask me questions, anything they want about it, and I'm not going to hide anything.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm doing this today, so help people understand how serious and how deadly.
Because I thought it was a bit hoax, but when you went to hospital, it opened my eyes. It really did.
A lot of people at work have said the same thing.
Especially when I saw the pictures which you put on your Facebook profile, shocked me.
Yeah.
And I've had my 2 jabs.
Yeah.
So what would you say to people who don't have the jab?
The thing is, I find about these jabs, everybody's saying like, what does it do to you? What's the after effects and all this? If your mum, your dad, your husband, your partner, your wife was in hospital with COVID and they're going into ICU and the nurse says, we're going to give them this injection because it's going to help them.
Yeah.
Do you ever question what it will do to them? No. You don't. You never question it. The most common question is there anything else you can give them?
Yeah.
Not once does anybody say, well, what's the after effects of this? Because they're already in a coma. And all they want them to do is to get through it.
Yeah.
And this has been proved, it works. Man's never going to make anything that agrees with 100% of the planet. Somebody's always going to have a reaction to it. Look at nuts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dairy products. People are allergic to stuff. So my outlook on this is, if you don't have it and you catch COVID, you've got an 8% chance of getting through it, but it's not something you want to go through, because it's long COVID. I'm still suffering with, got numbness in my legs, got numbness at the side of my mouth, numbness in my toes, numbness in my hands, and they don't know whether it'll ever come back. My lungs are badly damaged. Like I was telling you before about my shoulders, they ache. I say 80% of the time when I get up.
Yeah.
And then one day I can be fine with my breathing, next day I'm suffering again. You know what I mean? I can walk to the shop and I've got to sit down. And the other week I walked 5 miles. It took me a long time, but sitting down and getting up, but I walked it, you know what I mean? And I felt great at the end of it. And it's just this, it just never leaves you.
So pre the Mexican virus, you lost a lot of weight because we used to go on lots of walks and watch what you eat.
I did a keto.
Yeah.
And again, I opened a YouTube channel to help people lose weight. Because I lost, in total, including COVID, over 10 stone.
Wow.
I lost 8.5 stone on keto. And obviously, when I was in a coma, all you're doing is liquids, they pump it into you, so I lost another, like 2 stone really. on that. Obviously I put a bit back on now, and
Yeah.
I want to get back out walking. I've had a new knee, I've had a brand new full knee replacement,
Yeah.
and I'm over that now. Stopped seeing the doctor, stopped seeing the physio, because I've got the bend in it that I can get, and it's just exercising. But the keto, one of my friends at work, a guy called Tommy Jones, he knew everything about keto, and because I was a big lad and he was trying to push it onto me, and I'm at it, yeah, another diet, I've heard them all, mate, you know what I mean? And he's at it, no, Greg, he said, it's really, this is true, like, you know what I mean? Look, so I started, as we were waiting to do jobs airside, I'm looking at my phone and looking at keto and thinking, this looks alright, so I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah.
And it's a lot like the Atkins diet, where it's all about carbs, and I started to lose weight, and it came off really, really quickly, and I lost the 8.5 stone in 10 months.
Wow.
And my brother did tell him this when I was in hospital, and apparently they said, well, if you hadn't lost all that, you wouldn't have been here today. So I wouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
So, and again, I still think somebody's looking down on me.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But what I will do, I will share all the pictures what you took on my YouTube channel, and please have a check his page out, look at his story, spread his word, because you are a local hero, because he does so much for charity. He really does. Have a look at his page, subscribe to his page, and I do appreciate your time.
No, you're right, Steve. If it can help anybody, just one person, if it helps one person,
yeah,
you know, whether to have the jabs or whether not to have the jabs, or, you know, if it helps somebody understand what the relations are going through in Covid, then it's well worth every minute of it.
Yeah.
Definitely. 100%.
Yeah.
And like I say, I've not finished now. I was showing you before. I've still got hospital visits, telephone conversations with doctors and you know, the nurses, and respiratory places, and you know, that's going right until November at the moment. You know, taking CT scans of my lungs and all that sort of stuff. So yeah.
So fingers crossed. Hopefully, you get a full recovery. That's what we want.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I want to get back to how I was. Because I enjoyed me walking and that. I mean, you came with us a few times.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a year ago today we was in Blackpool.
I know. And we're going to do some new tubes together, some interests, some adventures.
Yes, definitely. 100% on that.
Excellent. I appreciate that, Craig. So follow his page, have a look at his Facebook, and subscribe to his channel. Thanks very much, people. I hope you find this interesting.